Hi, I'm Chandler Klebs, and I have a few things to say today about politics and voting because my friends, both my Facebook friends and my co-hosts, are sort of turning a little bit more political in recent times. And I don't say very much during the podcasts because I try to focus on the free will topic. I try to focus on morality and practicality and reality, about believing things that are true and that sort of things, and doing good and happiness and pleasure and pain and how that relates to morality. So that's where my focus is. So I don't bring this up during the podcasts. So I just wanted to record a separate video to explain a few things. See, I've lost all hope in politics. I don't believe that somebody really makes a difference if they vote or not. And I'm not telling anybody out there not to vote. I mean, knock yourself out. If you believe it makes a difference, then sure, vote. And I could be wrong on this, but here's the thing is any of the big changes that I would like to see happen are probably not going to be achieved through political means. I mean, think about it. What are the chances that somebody would vote, like that the majority of America would vote for a president or anybody who intended to make the sale of meat illegal? Imagine that. Because that's all the law is good for anyway. The law is only good for making something legal, making something illegal, punishing people who do something illegal, and then nobody can agree on how to punish them either. And I'm not about punishment. I'm not about legality. So in a sense, you could say that I think the whole system is wrong to begin with, because people are just like, oh, well, the government declared that this is legal, so I guess I'm going to do it now that I legally can, or it's illegal, so I better not do it because I'll be punished if I do. And you know what, people? That's not what I want at all. In fact, I would rather people do things that they believe are right. They might be wrong. People can be wrong about things, but if someone does something because they believe it's right, even if that does get them punished because the thing that they believe is right is illegal. Or similarly, even if something is legal, what if they don't do it because they feel that it's wrong? I value people's sense of morality much more than legality. And I know there are a lot of people out there that say, well, we have to have laws and we have to have punishment for criminals and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't really have a position on that, because the way I look at it, the suffering of all life is really immense, and it really gets to me lately. And see, here's the deal. I think people are way too focused on small issues. I mean, really, I just don't think people see the bigger picture. And as a vegan who sees the immense suffering done to non-human animals, it's all legal. And in fact, some people go to jail for trying to rescue animals from factory farms and that sort of thing, or even for recording things that go on in those places. People get arrested for that sort of thing, but they do it anyway to get the message out there. And so it's kind of interesting it's almost as if to do the right thing, sometimes you have to break the law. Just like you sometimes have to break the law to do the wrong thing. But the right thing and the law are not the same thing. I mean, it's sort of like that movie Legally Blonde 2, where Elle Woods said, isn't doing the right thing in everyone's best interest? And then that one lady says, I think you're confusing the right thing with the law. You didn't think that they were the same thing, were you? And, the whole point of that is, hey, the law and what's right are not the same thing. And I think what we have is, you've got politics and the government on one hand saying this is legal, this is illegal. And then you've got religion on another hand saying this is a sin and this is okay and God likes this and doesn't like that. And then people have their own reasoning and go by that and to figure out what's right or wrong. And all of these systems have flaws for sure. Nobody has an objective stance. Nobody can look at everything and exclude their emotional biases. But I do think that people thinking about things is a much better guide to morality than going by religion or politics. And so I stay out of it. I'm not going to the polls and voting any more than I'm attending church, because both are senseless wastes of time which will not achieve the things that I want in life anyway. And as far as morality goes, as far as the things that upset me, all the wars, the animal cruelty and slaughter, abortion, racism, sexism, all these things that bother me, they may not change. And I'm trying to find my happiness in life, even though I'm not able to make a difference as much as I used to think so. I had this delusion that I could fix the world, and I think many young people have this idealist notion that, hey, I'll just tell everyone these brilliant solutions and they'll agree and the world will all live in peace. And I'm like, I'm sure people have had that idea before, but it hasn't worked out so far. So in a sense, right now I'm giving up and trying to think, how can I be happy in my life and not dwell too much on all the evil things in the world that I can't do anything about. But the reason I wanted to record this video is just because I do these podcasts and stay silent when my friends bring up certain things does not mean I agree with them. And for example, just because I share George Ortega's political posts sometimes doesn't mean that I agree or even understand what he's talking about, but I like to post things to get people to think and to get them to talk about things. Because when I see people talk about things, I may not understand what they're talking about and why they're talking about it. Like people talking about the different presidential candidates. I may not know anything about politics, but the things they say, especially when they insult other people for supporting a different candidate than they do, tells me a lot about those people. It tells me about what kind of people do I want to hang around or not. So anyway, that's my thoughts, is that there's a lot to learn from discussing politics with people. Even though I don't actually plan to vote, I think I'll be asking people questions, of what they think about politics, just to get get the conversation going. Because I think conversation is good. It's difficult, but it's the only possible way that I see of anything being resolved. So anyway, that's enough for right now. I'm going to shut up.